We did not. We decided early on not to make an endorsement or a recommendation for the governor's race. And the reason is this is such a contentious race, and um, there's so much fighting by the right on their candidates, and it's really gotten to be quite ugly. And it's my personal belief that whichever Republican, whether it's Semi Bird or Dave Reichert, whichever makes it through the primary, everybody, including a bunch of Democrats, everybody needs to get behind that Republican. And so I hate to see the infighting with the right, because at the end of the day, we all need to come together. And there's been name calling, and there's been a lot of ugly things said to people. And I hate to see it, because Washington really needs a change. Republican governor would be huge. But with all this fighting, I'm very concerned that people will be hurt in the after the primary. They will be hurt and will sit out in the general for that governor's position. And we need not do that. We need to figure out how we are going to build a bridge and work together to make change. And so I really felt like we, as an organization, because our focus is on legislation, it made a lot of sense for us to focus on the legislative seats. And there hasn't been a lot of that focus from other organizations. It's really all about the statewide races, and we want to give as much support to these legislative districts as we possibly can, and encourage citizens to support these candidates and volunteer with these candidates and go door knocking and do the things that you can to help get Republicans elected to the state legislature, because that's huge. If we lose seats, and that's a very real possibility, there are a number, because of the redistricting, there's a number of open seats, a number of Republicans got districted out, and that was intentional. And then there's been a lot of people that are retiring, Senator Patton, Senator Linda Wilson I think she's the 17th. Ann Rivers, she got redistricted out. And then, of course, like JT Wilcox, and there's a few other Republicans on the House side that are not running again. And so those are open seats. And I can tell you that the Democrats are very strategic, and they are doing everything that they can to pick up those open seats and to flip seats where they can. And so we don't have we can't afford to lose any seats. We need to pick up seats. And so we need citizens to be focused on that, because that's where the laws that are made that you're living under is in the state legislature. And so that's why we decided that we were going to make that our focus. And I'll tell you, it has been very difficult to channel people's energy away from the governor's race. That's definitely top of mind. And I will say, I don't vote in Washington anymore. I do live in Florida now. That's not a secret. And so some people who don't care for my opinion will use that, well, Julie lives in Florida, so her opinion doesn't matter anymore. And that's fine. If that's how you feel, then that's fine. I'm still very engaged. Most of our team, there are another 2 or 3 people that have left Washington that are still working in fighting for Washington. They still work on our legislative action team. They're still trying to fight against the bad policy in Washington. God bless them. But primarily, I'd say 95% of our team is in Washington and across Washington, and they work very hard to try to get this information out, to gather information, to help educate people, and to vet these candidates. And so, if I was voting in Washington, do I have an opinion about who I would vote for governor? Yes, I do. And maybe I'll make a video about that on my own channel, and then you guys can go watch that there. But for this purpose, we did not want to make a recommendation. We get enough flack just on these recommendations that it just isn't worth it to us to get caught up in that fight.